Yo guys, welcome to another video. Today I got some more Death Knight talk to share with you. And it involves manual crowd pummelers in 335, something that you may have forgotten about. And spoiler warning, they are still good. So let's jump right into it. Today we're going to be talking about the MCP. We're going to go over a brief overview. We're going to talk about how to use it in Wrath and what should we do about it. The brief overview is, what is the manual crowd pummeler? Well, it is this two-hand mace that drops in Nomergon off one of the bosses, and it has a on use that will increase your haste rating by 500 for 30 seconds with a 1 hour cooldown. And this weapon has a 3 charge maximum, which means after you use the on use, it can no longer do it. Now, this was used back in Classic WoW or in Vanilla WoW private servers, where Feral Druids would go into Nomergon and stealth farm a bunch of these MCPs and then use them in their raids to get good damage out, good parses, and really good threat. It was great for Bear just as much as it was really good for Cat. So, really niche weapon, and really annoying weapon that was just notorious in Classic WoW. Well, as it turns out, this weapon is still valuable in Wrath of the Lich King, and here's why. In case you aren't familiar with Unholy DKs, one of the most iconic portions of an Unholy DK's kit is their Summon Gargoyle. And the way that Summon Gargoyle works is it is a snapshot of the Unholy DK's current attack power and haste, and that's how much damage you'll know that the Gargoyle will do. And so, in theory, what happens here is if you have a manual crowd pummeler on a Unholy DK, what you could do is you would use the MCP before you cast Summon Gargoyle and add it to the snapshot of your Summon Gargoyle, and then you switch back to a two-hand weapon. Now, this is a classic opener for every Unholy DK for every fight in the entire game. And this whole opener usually takes about 4 globals, sometimes more, before you would cast Summon Gargoyle. Now, the manual crowd pummeler adds a 500 buff, which would fall off the DK once he swaps weapons, but it would still capture that 500 haste onto the Summon Gargoyle, no matter what. Once you hit that button, that Gargoyle has those numbers engraved into its damage for the entirety that Gargoyle lasts in a fight. And just for comparison, 500 haste is the exact same amount that we get from Potion of Speed, which is the potion that we use at level 80 for a lot of DPS classes. We use Potion of Speed. This is the classic new haste potion for Wrath of the Lich King that we use in a raiding environment. So you are basically getting a double haste potion added on top of your Unholy DK's Summon Gargoyle snapshot, which is huge. Actually huge. And all just the sacrifice for a little bit of weapon damage just for the first couple globals of an encounter. Now, what should we do about this? Well, there's a couple ways to go about it. The first thing we could do is absolutely abuse it, which I know that we absolutely will. Maybe there would only be a couple DKs in the entire world doing it if I didn't make this video, but you bet your ass I would be one of them. Because I can't help myself. This is what we do. And I know that there's a million of you out there watching these videos thinking, yes, I would do that exact same thing too. Because when Feral Druids came out in Classic TBC, you know what we did? Is we got weak Troll's Blood. And we packed our bags filled to the top with weak Troll's Blood because that's what you do. You'll go to any lengths to increase your damage by 1% if that's all it takes. We will quit our jobs. We will call in sick. We will break up with our girlfriends if it means that we need to farm Nomergon just to do 1% more damage. We will do it. And to be fair, if we abused it, the Unholy DK parsing meta would get pretty dramatic. I'm sure there would be a lot of people out there who'd be very salty that they have to farm manual crowd pummelers, or, oh, the only reason people at the top actually 100 parse or 99 parse is because they're using MCPs. Like, there would be some drama surrounding it for sure. And in the defense of just, being fully transparent here, this is only abusable if we actually get the scripted uncapped GCD Gargoyles in Wrath Classic, which is technically Blizz-like. If we want to be true to the scripting that we should be for when we get Classic Wrath, we should have gargoyles that are uncapped GCD. I know that's a hot take, but we have a little bit of proof, as much proof as we can possibly find with these things, that date back to old forum posts and even old VODs of guilds like Paragon back in the day. There is evidence to prove uncapped GCD gargoyles. Now, whether or not we will get that, we don't know. And I'm not going to make any early claims saying that we are going to get it 100% because we don't know that. We know Blizzard has scripting errors left and right. So if we don't get that, then none of this matters. But we should. Now, another option is we could just completely blacklist it. Now, thankfully, I've put this video out well in advance of Wrath Classic. So hopefully word will spread about this so that eventually someone who's maybe more influential than me can get in touch with Warcraft logs before the time comes, so that something like this could get blacklisted if that's what the community wants, if that's what we decide to do. Now, if we get the MCP blacklisted, that would mean that anyone who uses the manual crowd pummeler on any log would mean that those fights would get blacklisted, which is pretty unfortunate. It's kind of the same situation that we have right now with the Gnomish Battle Chickens. The reason that's good is it actually helps us from falling into our really bad self-sabotaging habits, because we would spend hours farming Gnomergon again. I would do it, but I just don't want to, personally. And I don't know how you feel about it out there, but maybe you want to, and that's your own agenda. However, if we did this, it's ultimately just a straight nerf to Unholy DKs. We have this little niche interaction with our kit that was abusable in Classic and in Vanilla WoW, and why would we remove it now? It's still abusable, so why should we remove it? So I get it. Look, if we want to just straight up abuse it, and we all agree that that's the best solution moving forward, just to not do anything at all, then I guess I'm strapping up my boots and we're going to Gnomergon every day. It would be good to, do a little bit more damage. I do agree. And then the last solution is we could just get this video and get the knowledge about this kind of stuff so loud that Blizzard could do something about it. Blizzard could implement any number of fixes to avoid abusable usage of MCP at max level. One thing that they could do is they could add a diminishing returns to the item on use at higher levels. Say at like level 70 and above, it does less haste. The problem is, the downside is that this would require Blizzard to do something. And we all know how that goes. Like, sometimes fixes just kind of take a long time. There's just red tape everywhere in a corporation like Blizzard, and even one small dev probably can't fix this for us. So relying on Blizzard to fix something like this is maybe a little optimistic, but potentially they could do something like that. And again, just like the last solution, this would be an ultimate nerf to Unholy DKs, just as stated before, albeit minor. Now, in conclusion, well, I think I've actually maybe overspoke and shared a bit of my opinion while I talked about this video, but my conclusion is I hope that we do something about it. I personally hope that maybe we blacklist it with Warcraft logs. Maybe Blizzard could fix it, but if neither of those things happen, I hope my other sweaty Unholy DK brethren out there are ready to go into Gnomergon. It's not going to be all that bad. Like, we could farm Gnomergon over and over for a couple hours and we'd be set for, a couple weeks of parsing. But it kind of sounds miserable, doesn't it? And truthfully, is it really worth it? No, it's probably not, but it would be pretty sick. The haste pot plus the MCP added snapshot onto your uncapped Unholy DK summon gargoyle. It's pretty nasty. So that's all I have to say. Thank you for watching. If you found this even remotely useful or educational at all, please share it with your other DK friends, anyone that you know that is going to play DK in Wrath Classic. Let's get this video popular. Truthfully, I think the conversation about this should start blowing up so that people can make preparations for it. Either you can decide to re-roll and go DK, or you can try to make your voice heard, either through Blizzard forums or at Warcraft logs Discord, or just make plans to prep No Mercon runs. So that's it, guys. That's all I have for this video. Just some new Unholy DK tech. It's not even new. It's actually really, really old. Ancient, really. But thanks for listening and take care. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.